Okay, Camtasia says it's recording now. We're definitely not going to be using the GoToWebinar one-click recording anymore. Any of you guys that watched the replay from last Monday night, you had to obviously see the difference between them. And you would not believe what I went through to recreate that replay. I basically wound up having to strip the audio out of it and create JPEG images and drop those in place in the parts of the conversation where they needed to be. It was a real pain. And then we tried Wednesday night to do the recording to MP4, and that just didn't work at all. It wouldn't even render it. Of course, I don't know what it would have turned out to start with, since the one from Monday night didn't turn out worth usable at all. But the one from Wednesday night just didn't turn out at all. So it was a good thing I had Camtasia going Wednesday night, or we wouldn't have had none of that. But anyway, all that behind us, I'll experiment with this some more and see if I can figure out some way of getting it where you guys can see the conversation that's going on. But anyway, this is our weekly Here to Help You webinar. For those of you that, I think everybody that's on here has been to one of these before, but for those that watch them through the replays that are new to my list, I do these once a week on Monday evenings at 8 o'clock. And it's a session where I come on and I do either some presentation or a demo or play a video and answer questions that I've gotten through emails, through the submit form through the week. And then I give you guys a chance to ask questions too. There's generally nothing for sale here. This is not a promo webinar where most webinars you go to where they do a little presentation and they try to sell you on something at the end of it. That doesn't happen here. Occasionally I might mention something that's being released this week or something that I've discovered throughout the week that I really like. I might tell you about it, but I'm not really here to promote anything. The whole idea behind this is just to give you guys a chance once a week to come on here and learn something new and get to ask questions, and hopefully I can answer your questions here on the spot if at all possible. Tonight I've got another training for you, and it's kind of a continuation of last week's training in a way. You could actually append it to last week's training if you wanted to, and you'll see that as we get started in it, how it could be applied to that. Then I've got some questions that I've gotten through the email submit form. And by the way, I want to thank Dana for letting me know that there was a problem with the submit form. It turns out that there was an option in the submit form that would only let you submit one question per IP address. And I guess we just hadn't had that to happen before, but it did happen with hers. So when she told me about it, I went in there and looked and found that option and disabled it. For now, you can submit multiple questions no matter what IP address you happen to be on. So thanks for pointing that out, Dana. I have a couple of people that actually point out some of the things that go wrong. Bridget is real good about telling me about dead links or links that don't redirect right, so I appreciate Bridget doing that. And then Dana finds a lot of problems too and lets me know about them. So thanks to you two for helping me out when you find little things like that I overlook. Try as I might to make things go smoothly, I can overlook things too and let them slip. I try not to do that, but it does happen to all of us. Okay, and then tonight also, we didn't have time for this last week because we had so many questions from last week. Last week was a really long session because I had so many questions. But tonight I actually have the first one of our basic business models. I sent out on the replay asking people to send me suggestions on what they would like to have as a basic business, getting started in a business model. And I got a couple of suggestions, and one of them I'd already been working on. So since I'd already been working on this one, I went ahead and chose it for this week. But I got a few suggestions. So if you guys have any throughout the week, submit the form, tell me what you'd like to have as a basic business, and you'll see what one's going to be like tonight. I'm going to go through one tonight. And actually, this is another caveat I've found with GoToWebinar. I'd actually recorded it already as a video, and I was going to play the video for you guys tonight, so I wouldn't have to go through the whole thing again. But it turns out there's some funky little hoops you got to jump through to play a video through GoToWebinar. Seems that the video would play fine, but you guys wouldn't be able to hear it unless I did some special rigmarole setup with my sound card and hardware loops and jumps. So I didn't have time to do all that. So I'm going to have to just go through it again live tonight. So I'll see what I can do about that, because that was one of the reasons why I wanted to switch this software, so we could play video, because we had problems playing video in the other software. Some people couldn't see the videos. Apparently you can do video through GoToWebinar, but there's some extra setup you got to go through for people to be able to hear it. They'll be able to see it, but they won't be able to hear it. So I didn't have time to go through all that audio setup for that. So I'll see what I can do about getting that done before next week. But all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our little presentation for tonight. All right. So what we're going to talk about tonight is a business model that a lot of people have started with, and it's really easy to get into, and there's several people that have, really jump started their business by doing this, and you wonder sometimes why people would offer master resale rights to a product, and we're going to go through that tonight in the reasons, the two most common reasons people do. There's actually a third reason, but the two most common reasons why people do. All right, first off, let's give a definition of master resale rights, because this comes up quite a bit where somebody doesn't understand exactly what master resale rights means. Master resale rights is when you give the end purchaser of a product that you have created the rights to not only resell the product that they just bought, but also the rights to sell the resale rights. So in other words, you're pretty much turning the product over to them to let them sell it as their own product. The difference between master resale rights and other rights, in that a lot of people get it confused with PLR, which is private label rights, is that you're not passing along the raw source files to the product, nor the rights for the end purchaser to be able to modify the product. Now with private label rights, that's basically what you're doing, is you're pretty much just handing them the raw source files that you started with to create the product, and letting them use it in any way they want to create a new product out of it. With master resale rights, you're not doing that. You're actually handing them the end product as it is, without the rights to modify the product, and just to giving them basically the resale rights and the rights to be able to sell the resale rights. Now, in some cases, you do get rights to edit the sales pages. I've seen that granted a lot with master resale rights, and what most people do that for is so that you can make the sales page unique to help it get ranked in search engine rankings. That's the reason why people will offer the rights to let you edit the sales page. You wonder, why would a product owner want to offer master resale rights to their product? Well, there's two main reasons why. One is to gain recognition and credibility, and two is to make affiliate sales. Now, I've told the story before about the very first ebook that I wrote, and I first sold it over on ClickBank just as an end personal use product, and then later I was convinced by another marketer to release PLR rights to it, and I did that not knowing exactly what I was doing at the time, because I didn't really understand rights to products at the time. And that PLR product was picked up by another marketer that had a huge list, and he turned around and did very little editing to it, and then turned around and sold master resale rights to it. So it pretty much spread the product everywhere, although he had edited it and put his affiliate links in it. So it did him a whole lot more good than it did me, because I wasn't aware of what I was doing at the time when I released the PLR rights to that ebook that I'd written. But in general, the main reason why people would release master resale rights to their product is, one, to gain the recognition and credibility, and two, to make the affiliate sales, and we're going to talk about both of those. There's a third reason, and this is not as often the reason why somebody would release master resale rights, but it's also can be to have an upsell to a sales funnel. Some product funnels that you'll go through, they will offer the end user product up front, and then they'll offer the resale rights, and then they'll offer master resale rights as a third upsell, or second upsell, I guess you would call it. It's rare that you see that, but some people do that, and the only reason they do that is just to help add something else to their sales funnel to get another sale out of the sales process when somebody's in the buying mood. Now let's talk about the first one first, to gain recognition and credibility. Master resale right products, the good ones now, have the tendency to spread virally and can really help you gain recognition through branding plus instill credibility. There's no better way for you to brand yourself than to have an ebook or a video product that you pass along, that you give people other rights to sell, that is branded with your name or your company name or your website on it, to help spread recognition and brand yourself, than with a master resale rights product. Generally, a good master resale rights product is going to go viral really quickly. It's going to go out into a lot of marketers' hands, and they're going to really promote it to their lists. And it really shortcuts the process of branding yourself. If that's your main gain you want out of it, is to get recognition and credibility, there's no quicker way of doing it than to release a master resale rights product. And then the number two reason, and this is probably the most common reason, although the first one is really popular as well, is to make affiliate sales. Now, what I mean by making affiliate sales, and we'll talk about this a little bit more as we go through each one of these, you can take a master resale rights product that you've created and just sprinkle a few affiliate links through it, and as the master resale rights product would get spread and go viral, your affiliate link will be out in several hundreds or possibly thousands of places, and it will actually bring you sales on an ongoing basis for an affiliate commission. Now, a good master resale product that's branded with affiliate links can bring in affiliate sales on autopilot for years. There's been lots of people that have built a steady income just from affiliate commissions from master resale rights products that they've released. Now, it's kind of hard with a master resale rights product to make it seem good and have affiliate links in it, and the best way to do that is to not overburden it with affiliate links. One that has a whole lot of affiliate links, and like every page has an affiliate link on it, those are not going to spread as virally as one that would just have a couple that's sprinkled throughout the product. So you kind of have to be careful when you're actually creating a product that you're going to release for master resale rights, that you're branding it with affiliate links, that you don't go overboard with it. Everybody's used to seeing an affiliate link here and there, but one that there's definitely an ebook that was created just to promote affiliate sales. People catch on to that pretty quickly, and they kind of take a negative attitude towards it once they see that it's obvious that that's what you've done. Okay, so let's go over how you get started with master resale rights. Well, the first thing you want to do is create an ebook product. That's the easiest to start with. You can do this with audio and video, although it's tougher with audio and video to brand it, other than on like the pages that would be actually displaying the video or the audio on it. You can brand those pages, but those are easily edited, and people could take out the branded links in those. But it's easier to do it with an ebook, because you can, while you're in Word creating the source file, you can create your affiliate links in there, and then once you export it to PDF, the links are in there and they can't be changed. Now, there's programs you can get that will let you rebrand ebooks, and that's another avenue you can go into, is creating books that can be rebranded, and there's services out there that will let you do that. And on the replay page, I'll actually give you a link to one of the ones that I use for rebranding ebooks. And it also helps with master resale rights, is if you have one or two links that can be rebranded, but then a couple links that can't be rebranded. So like I said, on the replay page, I'll actually give you a link to a site that I use for this that I highly recommend if that's what you want to do, is give people some rebranding rights. But generally, like I said, you start with an ebook product that you create, and you want to make it really high content, because the first overall goal is you want it to be a good quality product that people are going to want to try to sell themselves. And you want to add, lots of screenshots and graphics to it. In other words, really format it, make it look nice. Don't make it some cheap looking little quickie report that you know that you can tell somebody wrote it, didn't know what they were talking about, and it's just some questionable method or process. Take a little bit of extra time to make it look really high quality, and like I said, add a few screenshots and graphics to it will help it tremendously. You can also use document templates that put like the borders around the sides of the pages. Those help to make them look nice as well. And you can find those over on the Microsoft Office website. You can download document templates that you can use for that. And there's even packages that you can buy that are ebook template packages. But just something like this, will make the quality stand out. And once you have the quality in the book to start with, well, then that's what's going to help it make it to where people will want to try to resell it themselves if they see that it's a really high quality product to start with. Then inside the content, you want to brand a few affiliate links or create a recommended resource section. Now, if you're going to create a recommended resource section, you could actually add quite a few more affiliate links into a resource section than you could through affiliate links throughout the content. It's more accepted if there's going to be several affiliate links from to be in a recommended resource section than to have every other paragraph in an ebook have an affiliate link in it. But you could actually do both. I mean, you could, when you're creating the content for your ebook and you're recommending, a certain program or a service, you can make an affiliate link into it in the content where you're explaining about the service or the product. And then at the end of the book, have a resource section where you again repeat that same affiliate link again. Now, when you're actually creating these affiliate links, a lot of times the places you go to sign up for their affiliate programs, they give you these really, really ugly affiliate links. If that's the case and you've got an affiliate link, that's really long and ugly, you may want to go to your blog and install pretty links or something like that to make a nicer looking redirect link. Another simple thing you can do is just create a folder on your website called recommended, and inside that folder put some index files that redirect. And you could just say yourdomain.com/recommended/aweber.html, for example. And then when somebody loads that page, it automatically redirects to your Aweber affiliate link. That would look much nicer than having, now of course Aweber's affiliate link's not real ugly, although it's obvious that it's an affiliate link, it's still not real ugly, but that would work really good for in the case of having an ugly affiliate link that's just god awful long. And sometimes those might cause problems because sometimes they have like and signs and other characters in them that, depending on what you're using to create the actual PDF, it may cause problems with exporting the source file to a PDF if it has those special characters in it. So if it's going to be a really, really long URL or an ugly URL with a lot of special characters in it, I would recommend, installing the WordPress Pretty Links plugin or just creating the redirect pages, like I said, with using a recommended folder off of your website. And after you've created the product, the next thing you want to do is get a custom mini site package created for it. It doesn't have to be a really elaborate mini site package, just one with a nice looking header and a footer and an ebook cover. You can go over on the Warrior for Hire section and find tons of places that sell these. They average anywhere from $25 to $50 on average. And just having good quality looking graphics that's going to be on the sales page that you can use as a template, that's going to help a lot in somebody wanting to purchase the master resale rights to start with from a product, because it'll have a nice looking sales page that goes along with it. Now you could obviously create an affiliate promo page to go along with it. Maybe have some banners and some email swipes. And if you do decide to do this, and when you're getting the custom mini site created, you can ask them to create you a few banners in the common sizes that most people would use. And you could, create a couple of simple email swipes for people to use on their promo pages. That would be another little plus you could add into the package. It's not something that you have to do. It just might help a little bit if you tell people that they actually get a promo page along with it to help them sell their copy of the package once they get it. Now, once you have this mini site that you've purchased from a graphic designer, create somewhat of a decent looking sales page with it. And an easy way to create a sales page, I talked about this last week, was just to talk, just write down a conversation of how you would describe the product and why you needed it, and then your solution that you found, and then how the solution benefited you. And another easier way to do this, if you're not good at telling a story like that, is use one of the sales page generators. There's several of those out there. You can find some of them for free if you belong to any PLR membership sites, you can find some of them for free in there. And I think I have one that I'm allowed to pass on the rights. If I do, I'll actually link to it on the replay for this training tonight. I think I've got one that I can give you guys. But anyway, there's lots of them out there, and there's some really good ones that you have to pay for, but there is some decent ones that will work that are free as well. And once you've created the sales page and you've got your end product ready, you've got your mini site ready to go, just zip all the contents up and then launch the product. Now you can do that several different ways. You could either launch it as a WSO and sell a few copies of it there. If you have a list built up, you could mail out to your list telling them about it. Or you could, contact some other people to do some JVs with people to make a few sales. The one thing you want to definitely make sure is that master resale rights is clearly made visible on the sales page. In other words, you want to make sure that when people visit the sales page and they're looking at the buy button, that they are going to see that they do get master resale rights with the product. You want to make that really clear to them that that is one of the main draws to buying the product, is they're going to actually get to resell the product themselves. After you've done that, after you've made a few sales with it, the next thing you want to do is, after you've got a little bit of proof of concept that the package will sell, is you can take it to the next level, and I'm going to show you how you can really make this master resale package spread and go viral. The first thing you could do is contact owners of PLR membership sites and offer to donate the product to their membership. Just about every owner of a PLR membership site is constantly looking for new content that they can add into their download section for their members. So they are more than willing to accept any donations of a quality product that they know their members are going to love. And by doing that, I mean, you're not going to make any money on the actual product because you're giving it to the PLR membership site owner, and he's going to be putting it in his download list for his members. But you'll be making money off of those affiliate links that are inside the product itself. The second thing you can do is contact list owners and offer to give them the package to send to their lists. You may actually want to experiment with doing number 2 first to see if you can find a few people that have decent sized list or good quality list, and offer it to them first and let them try it first, and then go with number 1 instead of going with number 1 first, because you'll actually do better with number 2 if you use that method first, as opposed to going with the first one first and then trying to do the second one. If you do decide to contact list owners and offer to give it to them, see if they'll let you throw in the extra step of having a squeeze page. That way you can at least get those people onto your mailing list, and as you create future master resale right product packages, you could contact those people that have opted into the list and tell them about them first, so that you can make those sales instead of having to launch a WSO or whatever, or spend any money on paid advertising to try to sell the product. It's a good way to help build your own list first, so you get those first few sales. Because a lot of times, now it's very rare, but because most of the PLR membership site owners are going to, once they see what the product is, they're going to automatically accept it. But there's going to be a few that may ask about conversions and if it's sold very well. So if you have just your own list that you can market it to first and just show them, you sent 300 clicks to it and you made 20 or 30 sales from it, that's proof enough to them that it will sell and it's going to be worth putting in their membership site. Okay, and then finally, wanted to say that thousands of dollars can be made with this simple business model. Lots of famous internet marketers have started out this way. One that I'm sure you all are familiar with is Liz Tomey. This is exactly how she got started in internet marketing, was by creating short reports and selling the master resale rights to them that had affiliate links in them. That's exactly how she built up her business to start with, was doing the master resale rights business model. Now, this is easy to do. It doesn't take much to create, some sort of short little report, something that's really quality. Graphics are pretty easily found. There's lots of places where you can get free graphics or they can be bought really, really cheap. So, it's not really hard to come up with an ebook product that you can do this with. And like I told you at the very beginning, this is kind of an extension of last week's training where I talked about taking your goals and turning them into a product. You could actually take that product, if you created one from last week's training, and apply this technique to it. And not only could you make sales, initial sales by teaching somebody how to do something, but you could actually take, like I said, take this to the next step and turn it into master resale rights, where you recommend a few products through affiliate links and actually make, a residual income from people reselling that product that you created last week. Again, like I said, this is a really simple business model. Anyone can do this. It doesn't take much to come up with an ebook product. Everybody wants to create a product, wonders about the different types of rights, and actually master resale rights are probably the best to release as opposed to PLR rights. I told you the story just a little while ago about how when I first released my first PLR product, I didn't realize people could take it and turn it into master resale rights, and I lost a ton of money because I wasn't aware that could happen. So if you are considering creating some sort of product and releasing various rights to them, master resale rights may be ones you may want to consider because of the viral effect that it can have. Roy says, are you talking about master resale products that you have personally produced or a master resale products that you bought rights to? I'm talking about products that you create yourself, Roy. Master resale rights products that you've bought or you've acquired through a membership site have already been through this process, so it'd be hard for you to duplicate it. And in most cases, like I said, they come with the links already branded in them, and occasionally somebody might have a package that they offer with it to rebrand those links, but pretty much they're already branded and the package is already created, and there's not much else you can do with it. But no, I'm talking about products that you would create yourself, that you initially in the beginning are putting your links in it so that you can help build your credibility instead of somebody else's. Patricia says, is it ethical to make master resale rights products out of PLR as your ebook PLR buyer did? Once you release PLR rights to a product, you're pretty much turning loose any control you had over the product. Now, I have seen some people put restrictions on PLR, saying that unless you change it significantly and make it totally unrecognizable as the original product, you cannot offer resale rights. I have seen people do that with PLR, but it's kind of rare that you see that. I have seen some people take PLR and say that it can only be released as resale rights as well and not master resale rights. But for the most part, unless they spell those out, PLR can be turned into any kind of product you want at that point. It just depends on what the product creator decides to release as their rights. And again, we get into, when you're discussing the rights, there's no one set of rules that people follow with these rights. I mean, the basic rights themselves have their own definitions, but then people add their little, I guess you would call it like clauses in a contract that may stipulate some things you can and can't do. I've seen some PLR products be released saying that you can't mention the original source creator at all. You can't use their name or their company name in the marketing or the name of the product. So when it comes to PLR rights, it just really just depends on if they've spelled out whether you can pass on the master resale rights or not. Most of the time they don't mention it, and if they don't mention it, that means you pretty much can. And she says, and of course, how would you enforce it? You can't. Uh, it's although people will say, that if they see that you're not abiding by the terms, they'll cancel your rights. But it's awful hard to enforce that. People have tried in the past to enforce it, and it's really tough to do. In the case of something that requires a serial number or an unlock code, well, then you could, turn off that utility there and deactivate their license or whatever. But most of the time when you're talking about an ebook, it's pretty much impossible to enforce the rights, even though, it can come back to haunt them later that, somebody that's say on your list that you sold the product, the master resale rights to, and they abused it in some way. And it would be kind of hard to abuse master resale rights to start with, but you could, refuse to sell them something else, or you could maybe post about it, that they didn't honor their rights or something like that. But that's about all you could really do with it. There's rights that you can claim, but there's rights that you can't really enforce them too much unless somebody does something illegal with them. Now, if you do something illegal with them, then you have other authorities that can step in and do something about it, like for infringing on copyrights or something like that. And speaking of copyrights, I've seen that in master resale rights, the rights files with them too, some where they claim that you cannot claim copyright. And I've also seen that in PLR products as well, where they say you can't claim copyright. But then again, I've seen it in PLR rights where they say you can't claim the copyright unless you significantly change the product or it's unrecognizable from the source. So, you get into, once you're dealing with PLR, it basically comes down to the final set of rights that the product creators release with it, what you're allowed to do and what you can't do. I know Jeremy and Simon, they release, quite a bit of PLR. And one of the stipulations they have in it is that you can't use their names at all. You can't use their company names, and you can't claim copyright unless you change it more than 50 to 75%. In other words, to make it unrecognizable from the original source. So that's a good example of people that, try to enforce some sort of copyright and trademark in their rights to PLR. Okay, like I said, you could actually take this training I just gave you tonight and append it to last week's training, and you could actually help brand yourself really quickly if you did that. Because the training I gave you last week was just to take a simple process and document it and turn it into an ebook. You could take that a step further with this training we had tonight. Spruce it up, make it look really nice. Even though it's a little short report last week we were talking about, something 3 to 7 pages on average, you could spruce it up, make it look really nice, add a few more screenshots to it, make it, say 7 to 15 pages in length total. Time you add resources and maybe explain things a little bit better and format it a little bit better, you'd add a few more pages to it. You could turn it into a really nice master resale rights product. And like I said, the easiest way to get these to spread is if you have a list, let your list know about it first, make a few sales, launch it as a WSO, make a few sales over there with it, and then maybe contact a few list owners and tell them how well it's done for you. You've made a few sales with it. You don't have to be over exaggerant with it. Just tell them, what you've done with it. You've sold a few copies of it and people like it, and get a few list owners to distribute it. And then after that, contact some of the PLR membership sites and get them to put it in their membership sites. And it'll help spread your name a lot. And like I said, if you go about it the right way and don't make it over obvious that you're pushing affiliate links, it'll help you make lots of affiliate sales for years to come. All right, so let's go over the questions I got this week. I didn't get a whole lot of questions, nowhere near as many as I had last week. Okay, the first one that I got says, of all the recent video creator softwares that's been released lately, which one, and they got an S in parentheses here, which one or ones do you recommend and do you use and recommend? Uh, I know there was a bunch of them there for a period of weeks. It seemed like every week there was a new one coming out, at least every couple weeks. Um, the two that I use the most are VideoMaker FX and Explaindio. I get the most use out of those two as opposed to all of the rest of them. Now, occasionally I'll use TTS Studio, and the reason why I use TTS Studio is because it has that ability in it to take text files and make an MP3 audio out of it using the True Speech voice sound engines, and they sound really, really close to a human reading the text. So if I got a video product that I want to make that has text in it that I want it to be read, and I don't want to do it myself, or I don't want to pay somebody to do it, I'll use TTS Studio to generate those MP3s. But then I'll take that MP3 and embed it into the product that I'm making with either VideoMaker FX or Explaindio. Those are the two that I use the most. And I've, just like you guys, I've probably bought every single one of them that's come out here in the last 4 to 5 months or so. But those are the two that I use the most. The next question I got is, developer rights worth getting to plugins and themes? I see these as upsells a lot and wonder if I really do need them or not. It really depends on the theme or the plugin itself to start with, whether developer rights is going to be worth it to you. And then again, what you're actually going to be doing with the plugin and theme. Most of the time when you get developer rights, what that basically means is you're allowed to create websites for clients or customers and include the plugin or theme with it when you create it and pass it on to them. And I've seen some developer rights that will actually say you can create sites that you're going to sell in mass. In other words, you're going to create a let's say a niche blog that you're going to sell the niche blog as a WSO. I've seen some of them say that you're allowed to do that. And it really just depends on, like I said, what your ultimate plan is for the plugin and the theme itself to start with. If it's something you're just wanting to use yourself, you don't plan on reselling the website, or you don't plan on making copies of it to sell in mass, then you may not need developer rights. If you do have any idea that you may want to sell the website somewhere down the line, well, then if you don't have developer rights, well, then most of the time the end user that purchases the website, should you decide to sell it, would have to buy the rights to that plugin or theme. Now, sometimes you can pass those on. It just depends on, again, rights files that come with the products that you buy, whether you're allowed to pass on the end user product and give up your rights to the plugin or theme. So most of the time, and this is how I look at it with plugins and themes when I'm purchasing them and that option is available to me. I think about whether I would use this on multiple websites, and then if I would ever decide I might want to sell that website, if I have any idea that down the road I might want to sell that website, well, then I'll get the developer rights, provided that it's not an unreasonable cost. Sometimes they're just unreasonable and it's not worth going into, because if it's something I'm just thinking it might happen. But if it's a reasonable cost to get developer rights, and there is some notion that somewhere down the line I might decide I want to sell the site or create sites to sell in mass, then I'll get the developer rights. But it boils down to what you're planning on doing with the actual website itself. If it's something you're going to keep yourself, you're not ever going to sell it, you may not need developer rights. But it's just something you got to consider when you're actually making a purchase. If you're actually going to pass it on at some point, whether you should get those rights or not. And like I said, with me, it comes down to the price point. If developer rights are just unreasonably priced, then I won't even consider it, even if I think I might want to sell the site somewhere down the line. Then the next question I got says, do you have a general plan or strategy as to which new apps, PLR, etc. offers to seriously consider? Sometimes the low prompt loss triggers a buy now, even if I won't use it for a while response. But what if something better comes along in the meantime? So do you have a plan as to when to buy or to spend the time considering assuming the price is within one's ability to pay? Okay, let me go over that again here. It says, do you have a general plan or strategy as to which new apps, PLR, etc. to seriously consider? Okay, I guess it's talking about in general, when new products get released, do I have a general strategy or plan on making these purchases? And I think we're all faced with that. Um, a lot of times a product will get released and you'll see that it could have some use to you, but you may not see that you could use it right away, and you have to weigh out whether it's worth getting right now because it's on sale and you might use it at some point in time, whether you should go ahead and get it or not. And then you have to also weigh out the possibility that, oh, if I buy this now, would later down the road something maybe come along better that might be better than what I'm purchasing now. And that's a gamble that you take with just about anything. A good example of that is I think around March or April, I bought a software that would actually let me go into Facebook and look at other advertisers' campaigns live in real time. And I couldn't see their stats on what kind of clicks they were getting or anything like that, but I could see the actual ad that they had listed and the target audience that they went through. And it was a really expensive piece of software. But at the time, there was nothing else like it. It cost $297 to get that software. But like I said, at the time, there was nothing else like it. And I knew, Facebook is one of the places I do a lot of advertising with. So I knew I had a use for it. And I knew probably somewhere down the line that somebody else was going to come out with something similar to it that was going to work maybe even better or be cheaper or have a few more features to it. But like I said, at the time, there was nothing else like it. So I went ahead and bought it. And then sure enough, a couple, 3 months later, there was another product that came out that did almost exactly the same thing for less, probably about a third or less than a third of what I paid for that one. But it was one of those things where at the time, I definitely needed it because I was doing Facebook advertising, so I knew I needed it. But had I not have been doing Facebook advertising and that product had come out and there was nothing else like it, I would have had to wait out whether it had been worth the money to invest in it or not. Now, just recently today, there was a software product that came out for doing retargeting of ads through Perfect Audience and some of the others that do retargeting. Facebook being one of them that does retargeting. Now, since I do Facebook advertising, it's a product that I needed right now. So, I definitely wanted to get a copy of it because it was on sale. Now, had I not have been doing Facebook advertising, it would have been the same situation that this person was asking. You know that somewhere down the line, you might want to buy some paid advertising. You might want to do retargeting. So would that have been worth getting or not? And that's where you just have to weigh out, is this something that, you're going to use later down the road and not just something that you're going to buy just because you think it sounds cool or you think it could make you tons of money, but you don't have time to fool with it. Generally, I look at things like this myself as, would this speed up the process of something I'm doing now or help me get something done faster or make something more cost efficient before I'll buy it? Even if it's something I'm not going to be using right away, I look at it in that respect. Is this something that somewhere down the line that's going to save me some money in either, money that I spend or time, or make something a little more efficient or work better? But then when it comes down to the second part, that something could come out later that's even better, you just never know that. A great example of that is all those video programs that came out there, just one right after the other. I mean, each one of them seemed to build on what the last one did. So how do you know when's the point to stop and wait for the final one to come out? You don't. Um, you would like to think, that you bought the very best one, that there's not going to be one that's going to replace it in a while, but that, that's probably not going to happen. Somewhere down the line, somebody's going to release another one that's going to be just as good or even better than the one you just bought last month. But I guess you just have to look at it in the respect, be thinking about, are you really going to use it? I don't buy ebooks and things like that anymore, or trainings anymore, that I think somewhere down the line I might want to learn this. I don't do that anymore at all. That's what I call the bright shiny object syndrome, is where you buy an ebook or a video training or audio training or on something, not knowing if you're ever really going to go into it. And when it comes to utilities, like I said, you just have to weigh out, how is it going to benefit you? Is it something you're going to be doing, whether you should get it? And again, most things when they come out, they're at a cheaper price. So, that kind of, throws the scarcity factor into it to get it now, so you can save, 10, 20 or half price or whatever on it. But again, it boils down to, do you think you're really going to use it or not before you should make that decision? And, like I said on the last part, hold out for something better later down the road. You just never know if it's going to happen. Like I said, in the case of that Facebook software I bought, at the time I knew there was nothing else like it, but I knew somewhere down the line somebody was going to come out with something. But did I want to wait on it? And I didn't want to wait on it. So that's why I made that decision to spend that money last March, I believe it was. Let's see, and then the next question is the Warrior Forum really going to crack down on WSOs like they claim? Yes, I believe they are, and in fact, Patricia's on our call tonight. She forwarded an email that she got, and I got the same email from Derek Van Dyke as well. On the 8th, the Warrior Forum sent out an email to anybody that had launched a WSO, telling us that we had till the 12th to go in and clean up our WSOs and take out any income claims. If we had free WSOs in the Warrior Forum, in the WSO section, that we had to go in there and add a buy button to them, turn them into something that we were selling instead of making them free. They were giving us to the 12th to do that. And if we didn't do it, they were going to automatically move the free ones over to the classified section. And then the ones that had the income claims, they were going to just disable those. And like I said, Patricia forwarded an email to me just before the call tonight, and I'd gotten the email earlier today myself, that Derek Van Dyke said that he had contacted the Warrior Forum asking them a question about one of his WSOs, and with just a simple reply back, they said it's got to conform. They gave him a really short answer, and then they deleted the WSO, didn't even give him a chance to fix it. So, yeah, I believe they're really going to crack down on them. How quick they're going to do that, I don't know, because I was looking at the Warrior Forum just before our call tonight, and there's still some right there on the very first page of the WSO section have income claims in them. I didn't see any free ones. Of course, I wasn't really looking that hard because I was trying to also look up this thing about the questions thing for you guys so you could see the questions during the calls. So I was trying to do both at once. But I did still see some that had income claims on the very first page. So I don't know what their criteria is for going through those WSOs, but from the email that Derek sent out, and he actually linked to a blog post where he talked about it. I didn't get to read the blog post, but it seems like they are going through them somewhat and taking out the ones that have the income claims. And I've heard from other people that they have moved some of their free WSOs over to the classified section. So it looks like they're going to do it, but I don't know what their criteria for completing this is and how quick they're going to be about it. It seems like maybe, according to what Derek done, if you ask questions, you're going to be the one to look at first. So if you got WSOs over there that you haven't dealt with, you might not want to send them no support tickets and raise any red flags till you have time to deal with it and get it done yourself. Jen saying a master resale product allowed. Is master resale products allowed in ClickBank? Yes, ClickBank will let you sell any product. They don't care if they have duplicates over there. They're a lot like JVZoo and Warriors Plus in that as long as you legitimately have rights to sell the product, yeah, you can list the product over there that they already have listed. They're not like the Warrior Farm where it has to be 100% unique. They would like for it to be unique, but it don't have to be. Dana says, I read that if you can prove to them the income claims are legit, they can stay up. Yeah, that's if you've been keeping up with that announcement thread over there, that's been the big discussion about how you actually prove those income claims. A lot of people are saying, no matter what you submit to them, it could be faked. Some people are saying that there's no way you could prove income claims. There's some people saying there's no way you could prove an income claim unless you sold the product through Warrior Payment System. So, there's a huge discussion on that over on the Warrior Forum about these income claims, and I'm interested to see how they boil down with it too. I'm pretty sure, the obvious ones, they're going to be able to take those out right away, but it's going to get down to some that are going to be really questionable about, something that, possibly could happen, but how do you verify it? And it's going to be a good thing to see what finally happens out of that, how they deal with people's proof of their income claims. Okay, and then the last question I got through the forums: have you tried a free WSO in the classified section yet, and was it worth it? I have tried a free WSO in the classified section, and no, I don't think it's worth it. To answer this question I got, it says, have you tried a free WSO in the classified section yet, and was it worth it? And let me show you the WSO that I have listed over there. Let's see, I believe it's this one. Yes, it's this one. Right now, I have one that I listed this past Sunday, and it's sitting at about number 17, I believe. Somewhere it's I counted it as far as I got on the call here, and it's listed at number 17. Yeah, the easiest way to find it would be search my name. Let's just do that. There it is, right there. This is the free WSO I launched this past Sunday. I launched it Sunday about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's had 65 views since Sunday, and like I said, it's still on the first page of the classified section. Now, let me show you the results that I've gotten from that over here in my Aweber. I did an ad tracking on it so I could keep up with the results that I did with it with a ad tracking code of WSO. As you can see, I've had 5 subscribers. 2 of them are still confirmation pending. So that's not real good. It just definitely proves to me that there is less traffic over in the classified section as opposed to the WSO section. Because by now, on the regular WSO section, I would have been off the first page to start with. So there's not as many postings going over, and like I said, it's only showing 65 people have viewed it. Did we lose that again? Go back up here and find it again. There we go. As you can see, there's been 0 comments on the thread to start with, but only 65 views of it. And like I said, out of those 65 people, only 5 people have opted in. Only 3 of them have actually confirmed their subscription. So I've gotten 3 subscribers so far for that listing. So it's not looking good. It really isn't. Nowhere near as good as it used to be over in the regular WSO section. On the regular WSO section, in times past, in the first 24 hours, I would have gotten anywhere from 50 to 100 opt-ins in that first 24 hours. We're right at 36 hours now because it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're right at 36 hours, and I've only gotten 5 subscribers with only 3 of them that have actually confirmed. So I've really only gotten 3 subscribers. These 2 here, unless they confirm, eventually those will drop off of there. Pritchett says, I had to look at the Masson package a little earlier. I'm very impressed and very grateful. Thanks so much. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. That's, like I said, that's part of the SWR membership site to give you guys resale rights whenever I possibly can. And that was one that we were launching as a case study, WSO case study, and Warrior Forum squashed that right at the end. Didn't get to launch the 4th part of it. We did get to launch the first 3 parts of it, though. So we got a little bit of stats out of it. And the stats, just on that, guys, I mean, of course, I know you guys that are coming to this call that aren't part of the SWR don't know the stats on how that turned out, but it was so much better than what this free listing is done over in the classified section. I get sales every day from one of those 3 that are listed over in the WSO section now. So the classified section is definitely not going to be as good as the WSO section was. Okay. Well, let's go over the business model section really quickly. Like I said, I had a video on this, so I wouldn't have to go through this now, but GoToWebinar is not going to let me play a video easily, so I'm going to have to go through it, and I'll try to get through this as quick as I can, guys, for you, so I won't keep you on too much longer. Okay, so the business model we're going to talk about tonight, like I said, this is a basic business model overview. We're going to talk about freelance article writing. Now, article writing is still a really good business model you can get into, especially, if you enjoy writing at all. If you have the skill set to be able to write blog posts and articles, it's definitely something that's marketable still yet. And there's lots of money that can be made with it. And it really you don't have to have a lot, you just have to have a computer and an internet connection and somewhat good grammar and language skills. Basically all it takes. It's not a real high skill set to get into article marketing at all. The people that need articles would be the website owners. Website owners are constantly in need of content for their blogs and their websites, and then marketers are needing articles so they can do affiliate marketing to drive traffic to their products through article marketing that they do or document sharing. And then of course bloggers are all the time looking for new content for blog posts. So there's 3 really prime targets there that you can sell your articles to. Now the easiest way to get started with article writing is to first off go to the freelancing sites, and you can post your resume, so to speak, over there on guru.com and Elance and Freelancer. There's just 3 of them that's listed. You could also, while you're there, search for writing jobs. You could find 3 to 5 freelancing jobs that you're interested in and apply to each one of them. Give them a little bit of info about what you've done, any kind of samples you've done, and send in a proposal or apply to be the freelancer for them. That's the easiest way to get started, is go to the freelancing sites and look for writing jobs, or to post that you're willing to do writing for people. You could also use Google to find writing jobs that are available. You could contact people that are placing ads that are looking for people to write content for them. You could list your skills on a website and give people examples, that they can search and find you. This boils back down to having your own personal main website, that gives a little bit of info about the skills you have or the services that you can provide. One of the best things you can do is to create your own profile over on all of these freelancing sites and just have, a good profile that links back to your main website where you have, good demos of the kind of work that you can do in article writing. Like I said, you make sure you want to include your skills and your interests and examples of your previous work. Just about all article writing jobs you're going to get, they're going to want some sort of example or proof that you've done it before and the kind of writing style that you have. Now, there's lots of good benefits to creating your own profiles over on these freelance sites. One, it gives potential clients now have access to viewing your profile and asking you questions to do the work for them. You can turn these into long-term business relationships and, of course, profits by them having some way of contacting you by seeing the work that you've done and ways of contacting you. And of course, it gets your name circulated throughout the internet too as well, because all of those profiles are searchable. They get indexed by the search engines. You can also use YouTube to help you get started with it if you're not sure exactly how to write an article. There's really not a lot to it. If you remember back in school writing the little 250 to 500 word reports that you had to do in school, it's basically the same type of thing. But if you really stuck with it, you could go to YouTube and find videos about how to write articles. And there's also lots of free ebooks you can get to give you some tips. Basically, what it boils down to is finding 2 or 3 subjects that you want to write about as far as the article topic, and creating a couple of paragraphs around those points, and then maybe throwing in some bullet points of features and benefits that explain what you're talking about. There's lots of ways you can get helpful tips. Like I said, there's lots of free trainings you can get that tells you how to write articles. There's lots of free ebooks that tells you about how to pick subjects to write about. And it's not really so much that you have to put a lot of work into it. Just the main thing is just do proper research and make an article that sounds interesting, that somebody would want to read is the biggest thing. That's what most people are looking for, is an article that that's entertaining enough that somebody would want to read it. Now, the big question a lot of people has, and I've gotten this quite a bit, is how much money can you make from article writing? When you're first starting out with article writing, it's you're not going to make a whole lot with it, because you're really building up a reputation with it. You can't expect to make a whole lot. 50 cents to $1 for every 100 words is about what you can get starting out, until you've proven yourself, that you can write good content, and that you write content that people enjoy reading, or it's researched enough, or it gives enough information about the topic. But once you get a little bit of experience under your belt, you can start charging higher prices for them. And you could even take this to another level and sell article packs. Now, I've talked about that before in the Here to Help You webinars. As a business model you could set up, as selling PLR article packs. Once you get to the point where you can research a topic and create a few articles on it, that's another avenue you could go, is create a limited set of PLR article packs that you sell over on some of the forums, on like the Warrior Forum or whatever. But as you get more experience with it, like I said, then if you're wanting to do individual contracts and jobs for people, you can, once you've got proven to them you've got the skills and you're capable of writing good articles, $5 and on up is definitely possible with them. And I've seen, like on some of the places I go to buy content, like Constant Content, I have paid $25 for an article over there that is really researched and is really good quality content. I've paid $25 multiple times for an article. Now they're normally longer than 500 words when I pay that much, or usually about 1,200 to 1,500 words. But they're people that I know they know what they're doing. They're going to do the research. They're going to write an article that I know I'm going to be able to take that and turn it into some sort of a product afterwards. The things that you want to be aware of when you decide to get into article marketing is you need to do a good amount of research. If it's not a topic that you know real well, you're going to have to do a good amount of research on the topic. And if you have any expertise or knowledge in the topic, that'll help you a lot in doing that research. But even if you don't have expertise knowledge, you're going to have to do the research, and you're going to have to try to take that research that you've done and turn it into something that, like I said, it's good language skills and grammar, and it's going to be entertaining for people to read. The time involved in researching and writing an article is a really big factor, and really depends on what you can charge for it too. After you've gotten the skills, proven skill sets, to people that you can do it. The amount of time that you're willing to involve into the research and the writing can really make a difference on what you can charge for the article itself. But article writing is definitely still a very valid business model. People are still making good money with it. I'm sure Dana knows a lot of people that are doing article writing and report writing for people that are making a living doing this. So this is definitely a good business model if you think you have the talent to do research and write good quality articles. There's definitely a marketplace out there for your skills. Okay, and we had one question. That was our business model for tonight. Like I said, that's what I want you guys to give me suggestions on. Each week I'm going to try to give you a basic business model to get started in a business. Just send me some suggestions and I'll research it some, and I'll create a little short tutorial like this just to help you get started with it. Let's see. A while back here, Jen had a question. Let's go back to that. Okay, Jen says, is this something like your app? I saw it in the Warrior Forum, and she gives a link here to something on the Warrior Forum. Let's see if I can copy that. Well, I'm not sure where that went. Well, it's not letting me copy that link. Shoot. Seems like I got a lot to learn about this software, doesn't it? I don't know where the question even went now. It seems to be lost over here. Well, Jen, sweetheart, somehow or another, I deleted the link. I don't know how I'd done it. All right, here we go. Copy. All right, now let's see if we can do this. Thanks for reposting it, Jen. Give it a second to pull up here, and we'll see what we got here. Ready to earn, launch your own travel app for iPhone, Android, and iPad. Okay, looks like it's it's some sort of a template or something to create an app for the travel business. But it looks like to me, of course I'd have to read this to make sure, but it looks like to me that they're going to create it for you. Steps after purchase. You will get a link to a site where you can enter all that data like name, Skype ID. Within 24 hours, we'll contact you by Skype. Start developing. Okay, so yeah, they're actually creating that one special app that you would actually resell to somebody else. So basically, what they're doing is they're offering to create an app for you from somebody else that you would actually resell to someone else. Of course, I guess you could use it for yourself to get affiliate commissions, I suppose. I know a lot of those travel agencies have affiliate systems, but no, that's nothing like the system that I have. The system I have, you actually can create these type of apps yourself, and you can maybe sell them for $4.99 to somebody. I would hope you could anyway, but no, the system I have, you actually create these yourself instead of giving somebody the info and having them create it for you. It says also you do need a Google Play or Apple developer account to use this offer. We don't publish the app under our account. See, that's a drawback right there too. You have to have your own Apple developer account. So on top of that $4.99, you're going to have to add another $100 for your Apple developer account. So it's actually $5.99 you'll pay for that. But now the short answer to your question, Jen, no, that's nothing like what my app creation software can do. It does stuff like this, but no, it's nothing like this where you submit the details and get it done for you. Although I do have an account with somebody else that will actually develop apps for you, that you can give them the specs on an app that you want developed. And that's for people that, that want something that's out of the ordinary, that, they want us to do. For example, I've got a guy that's asking about setting up an app that will generate pickup and delivery times and charge for the deliveries, and he wants it based on the criteria of how far away the delivery is. I've got a company that will give me quotes on generating those type of apps. So that's kind of along the lines of what this is. Jen says, so we can do this app with our MobiFire. With the web app version, you can, yeah. You can't do it with the standalone version. It doesn't have an app in it, template in it that would create this type of app. But the web version, I know, does. Okay, guys. Well, that was all the questions I had. Do you guys have any questions before we call it a night tonight? One of the things I want you guys to do is to send me some more suggestions on business models. Like I said, I'm going to figure out how to play videos through GoToWebinar, and I'm going to look into this, how you guys can see the conversation other than having to share the screen. It's got to be a way for you guys to be able to see that, but there may not be. It may be that we have to share the screen for you to be able to see it. I'm going to look into that some more, but I'm going to look into how we play videos, because that was one of the things I wanted to do tonight, was play a video, and I found out that you guys wouldn't be able to hear it unless I set up the audio a certain way, so it wouldn't be good to play a video if you guys couldn't hear it. But for no other questions, we'll go ahead and call it a night tonight. Like I said, on the replay page, there'll be a form where you can submit questions for next week. Send me business model suggestions if you want. If you have any questions throughout the week, you can get a hold of me through email, the Skype, or through the form. It's on the replay page. That's one of the best ways to get a hold of me if you're not a part of the SWR. But thanks for coming again tonight, guys, and I appreciate you being here. And next week we'll meet again. We'll go over the next set of questions and training. Have a great night, everybody.